USA Today and Publishers Weekly bestselling author Liliana Hart. Thank you for joining us, Liliana. It's great to have you.
Thanks. Great to be
Also,
here.
happy Pub Day as well for your latest MacKenzie Family Novel, Troublemaker. So we have lots to
Thank
talk
you.
about today, and I see lots of people logged in and ready for questions. So you're calling 2016 the year of the Mackenzies. So can you fill us in on all the fun stuff that's coming up?
Well, I mean, this is a huge project,
Yeah.
obviously with Troublemaker and the Mackenzie World starting. And then
Mhm.
I also have Scorch, which is coming out July 26th. And that seems to be the
Awesome.
book everyone has been waiting for. So I think for
That's
probably 2 years now, everybody's been waiting for Shane Mackenzie's story. So that's coming out July 26th. And then
wow.
I have another Mackenzie novella with 1001 Dark Nights coming out in December. So there are a lot of
Yeah.
Mackenzies happening this year. So
Wow. 2 years people have been waiting for that. That's a lot of pressure. Do you ever feel that, or do you think does it help you work
every day.
harder?
Yes.
You're
No,
like,
I feel that pressure every day. And no, it's funny because my husband goes through all my emails and gets rid of like categorizes things for me and sends me the fan email
right.
and like he's the organizer of email and even he's like, man, you better write that book because every day, every day
Yeah.
people send so many emails about that
Yeah, it's a
book.
lot
So,
to catch up with. Yeah, that's nice. What a nice
uh,
hobby.
yeah.
So Marnie Whitlock and Beckett Hamilton are two characters that you wanted to bring back that everyone loves so much. So what's so special about these two? If you could sum it up for people who might not
Well,
know
these
them.
two actually, like Beckett has never made an appearance before in the books, but Marnie was Darcy Mackenzie's best
Hmm.
friend growing up. So you kind of get, actually, this is the first book you really get a glance of everyone as a kid.
Right.
You can kind of see him growing up and through those stages. But so she's almost like an adopted daughter to the Mackenzie family. So
Yeah.
she grew up in an abusive home and um, really spent more time with them than she did at her own house. So really, the story is about her and
Hmm.
you know, her survival and her journey making it through. So
Right.
um,
Right.
a lot of um, it was an emotional write for sure.
Hmm. And do your fans have any ideas for your characters? Do they ever, reach out on social media and say, "Hey, I would love to see this happen," or, name this town this, or do you ever take their
Mm,
advice, or kind of,
no, not not ever,
yeah,
and not for a
yeah,
bad reason, just because you
right,
know, I mean, I love that they're so engaged in the story and the characters and the town,
right.
and and that they feel like, I mean, I have people all the time that
It's nice
email
that
and
they're
say,
so invested.
I feel like I can wake up and they should be there at the breakfast table or whatever. But like as far as ideas, I mean, obviously for legal reasons is the biggie. You know, I don't, um, I don't
Oh yeah,
really listen to that kind of stuff. Um,
right. And you want it to be
But
your own
I mean,
thing,
also just because I
so
have a vision in my head of where the story is supposed to go and what's supposed to happen with everybody. And sometimes that changes along the way,
hmm
but, I can see it pretty clearly, and I kind of have a path for everybody. So sometimes people are upset that so and so didn't end up with somebody, or they thought that they were, and maybe 8 books ago they were supposed to end up with that person, but sometimes a new character comes on the page and there's a lot better chemistry with that with them. So things change,
yeah,
but
totally, totally. So, are there any upcoming conferences or events that you're going to be doing in 2016?
all right, I didn't hear any of that. You're breaking up.
Did you hear me? Any upcoming
Mm-mm.
conferences coming up? No? Can you hear me? I'm going to put this across the screen so
Okay.
we have a topic up above. Do you have any foolproof
Oh,
writing tips from Callie?
oh, full proof writing tips. Um, No. Um, the best the best foolproof writing tip I could probably give is to write. Um, you can't do anything with a blank page. So if there's nothing on the page, you're kind of you're just chasing your
Mhm.
tail. So, put words on the page. That's the biggest thing. And then something that helped me, as I was writing, like I always try to write to the action. Um, there's so many different kinds of action.
Right.
Dialogue is action, and sex is action, and violence is action, and fighting is action, and like big emotional sweeps. Look, those kind of scenes are action, and I try to write from one to the next. So there's always something pushing the story forward. So you never have the problems with any
Right.
sagging or anything like that, sagging middle. But that's probably the
Mhm.
best advice I could give, I guess, is put words on the page and then make things exciting.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent advice. Kathy Valentine has a question. She says, "How does it feel to
Okay.
have so many great writers writing about your MacKenzie series?"
Oh, it's amazing. They're all personal friends of mine, and I'm also a huge fan of their writing. And I thought of them immediately when we started talking about the project. Just um, I kind of had that. I had a vision in mind. Of writers that I thought that could really embrace my voice and my world, and make it
Hmm.
kind of a seamless transition. And they were the ones that
Yeah.
really came to mind first. hmm
Hmm.
So no, I mean
Now,
I'm
are there
I'm
any?
thrilled and very honored.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, Now, all those authors, like, can you give us just a quick little overview of like what you think their best writing kind of traits are? Like, what do you like most about their writing? Like all those authors. Is there anything
Oh
that
yeah.
sticks out in your mind? Like what they bring to the page?
Yes. Well, what it I don't want to say that there's like a common theme between all of them, but I would say sex scenes are pretty good within all of them. They
Yeah.
all write really hot and really they just kind of embrace the MacKenzie life, I think. So I thought of that first,
That's
but
awesome.
they all, they all
Mm-hmm.
write those scenes really well. They write sexual tension really well. They write chemistry really well between your hero and heroine, and um, you know, some people either have that and some people don't, and all of those guys have it. So they do
Exactly.
an amazing job with that.
They're
hmm
not afraid to go all the way with that. I love it.
No, there's
And I've
no
and I've
holding back
interviewed a
with that
lot of
group.
them. Yeah, they're all very funny too, so that always
Yeah.
makes it so much fun. What are you up to right now with Silverheart International? Is there anything happening with
Oh my
that?
gosh.
Can you give us up to
It feels like
speed?
everything is happening with that. Yeah. So my husband and I started Silverheart a couple of years back, and so it really encompasses um, two different areas. The first is we're publishing authors now, so we have a group of writers, all New York Times bestsellers, that are writing for Silverheart, and we only publish under the mystery thriller suspense umbrella. So everybody that publishes with us has to write in that subgenre somewhere. And so, I mean, that's been fantastic, and it's been great to
Right.
be on the publisher side of things and see how things work. And then we also, my husband is retired law enforcement, and he was chief of police, and
Neat.
he's got a lot of skills. He also has his PhD in anthropology, and so we wanted
Hmm.
to figure out something we could do together so we could actually see each other because he actually just retired in August, so he was very
Great.
busy, and as of I was very busy, and we decided if we wanted
Hmm.
to ever see each other that we should do something that combined
Yeah.
both those skills. So we came up with Silverheart with the intention of doing SWAT academies, which is Suspense Writers Adventures in Training, and basically it's like
Hmm.
a 4-day fantasy camp for writers or
Awesome.
screenwriters or video game developers, and so anybody, and actually like just anybody is welcome to come,
Hmm.
and it's basically you get to get out there for 4 days and you get to drive the police cars with the sirens on. You get to go to the range. You get to do canine searches. You get to,
Cool.
be a detective, go through crime scene houses. I mean, um, but so everything that you could imagine that any kind of suspense writer, or, I mean, we've got Navy
Hmm.
SEALs, we've got firefighters, we've got cops, we've got every public safety, agents of different, you know,
Wow.
various places. And so they'll all be there. They'll be teaching classes. They'll be out in the field, working, and everything's hands on. So yeah, it's just like it's a fantasy camp for writers, really. But it's research, so
Yeah.
writers can write it the way that they're supposed to, and
Yeah.
not have any mistakes in their books or anything like that. So
Right, right. A more
yeah, it's
accurate
been a
portrayal.
busy year. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wow. That's amazing. What a unique concept. I've never. Does anyone else do that? Are you like the first?
Not that
I've
I
never
know.
heard of
No,
that.
it's yeah, it's unique,
Awesome.
and yeah, you just come and stay and eat, and I mean it's hands on, just kind of balls to the wall all the
Yeah,
way. So
that's
yeah, we're
amazing.
really excited. So
Sweet. I see a question from Liz Berry. Hi, Liz.
hey, Liz Berry.
She said, she said, could you tell everyone about working with these five authors, all writing in your own world? It's such a cool concept. So for anyone who
Uh-huh.
just joined in or doesn't know your books and wants to read and like kind of catch up, can you tell them the whole concept
Hmm.
behind this?
Yeah. So everyone's obviously writing in the MacKenzie world. So
Right.
it's the world that I created, but they're creating their own stories within that world. And
Mm-hmm.
it's I guess it's more commonly referred to as fan fiction, but
Right.
and you see that all the time. But they did a great job. They've created their own characters, and they've just fit them seamlessly into Surrender, Montana, which is where most of my MacKenzie stories take place.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they've all read the series. They all know the characters. Um,
Right.
they really did a great job at making their characters, and really some of them pulled in from their other series. And so when you're
Mm-hmm.
reading those, you're getting a taste of two series, and you know, so you should definitely go check out all the other authors' books and
Yeah.
what they're writing too. But no, I mean it was great to get to work with them and see
Mm-hmm.
them, bring characters that I've developed from the ground up, see them on their pages, and it was fun for me too because my book is the full length book, but it also incorporates all of their characters. So as you're reading through
Yeah.
my book, you're going to see everyone's
Mm-hmm.
characters make an appearance at some point. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's like a nice little reunion.
Yeah. Amazing. Now you've sold more than 4 million ebooks. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Can you give our viewers some
thank you.
advice on taking the self-publishing route? Because I know a lot of people want to do that. So, is there anything
Uh
you could
huh.
tell them to kind of help them along
Yes.
that path?
Um, it is. It is not for the weak, and it's not for the I mean, it's a the best way that I can describe it is that I'm a publisher, and I run my business like a publishing house.
Mm-hmm.
And that means no cutting quarters, and it means working 100-hour weeks, and it means so it is not just throw your book up there and
Exactly.
expect to sell millions of copies. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I prefer the hands-on approach like that,
Yeah.
just because I like the control of it all, and
Yeah.
I like knowing that the things that I do, the things that I try, I mean, my success and my failure depends on me.
Mm-hmm.
So, if something doesn't work, I can switch it immediately. I can change things up, and I can do test runs,
Right.
to make to make it a more successful venture. But it is super hard work. I mean, I don't want to discourage. I would never discourage anyone from doing it. I definitely think
Right.
that it's an amazing. I mean, it totally changed our life for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
but you need to have a plan in mind, and not only
Need to
your
know what's
personal
coming.
writing goals in mind, but you need to have a business plan in mind.
Yeah.
And you need to have
Absolutely.
I tell people, I act just like a publishing house. I know my release schedule for the next year, for the next 2 years. when those books are going to come out. I know long-term goals for 5 years and 10 years.
Hmm.
You know, you've got to look at it as a business, and that's what it is. So, um, you know, and on top of running all the business stuff, you got to be able to still write books.
Yeah.
So, but it's always constantly changing, and I actually love the business side of it as much as I love the writing side of
Hmm.
it. So,
Right.
not everybody's like that, but for people that are, then you should do it,
Yeah.
and you should go for it. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure the marketing side is very, very cool to see. Um,
Yeah.
so here's a
Sorry.
random question. Oh, did you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Here's a random question. What punctuation mark best describes your personality? If you could pick one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love M dashes. I love
Do
them,
you really?
and I do, and I use them frequently, and I usually have to go back and take them out because I use them so often. So I love that. Just it's like a nice
Yeah, like
segue.
smooths
Like
it out.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah.
I
Just
hear you. I hear you.
so I mean but that probably describes me the best way too, because you know I have a tendency to hop from place to place or idea from idea, and then I'll come back, to my original thought, and so I would say that one for sure. I have a close connection with
Absolutely.
the M dash.
Yeah. What's the most overused word that you find yourself using when you're writing that you're like scribbling out? Is there anything that
Mm,
is just like, ugh,
just.
not.
I use the word just a lot.
I
Yeah.
hate that word.
I
Like in an
also
email, you're
use,
like, just
uh-huh.
checking it? No.
Yeah.
It's a weak
I use
word,
that
though.
one, and it is. Um, and I use actually just starting sentences with and.
Mm,
Um, like I do that a lot, so, which is okay, but I usually have to go back and narrow down some. So it's not
absolutely.
all. That's like the best thing about writing, though, is that you can take
Yeah.
all those rules that you learned in in school, and like I just
Hmm.
and which I hated. I hated doing any kind of grammar or any English stuff.
I know.
I mean, I loved reading, but when we got to the like the nitty gritty and diagramming sentences and stuff, I still could not diagram a sentence for you. I mean, after the basics, um, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that. Because once you start writing, none of the rules are followed. You just get to break them all. I just want to go and back to my teachers and be like, see, it's all right.
I
You don't
know.
have to know what a gerund is.
I
It's
know.
never going to help you.
Especially they were so intense about it. I remember just like DOL on the
I know.
chalkboard in the morning. It's like daily oral language time. Like let's analyze this sentence for an hour. It's like no,
I know.
the worst.
Right.
Um,
Let me just stick a fork in my eye. Yeah.
right. Jillian Greenfield Stein has a question. Hi, Jillian. She says, was it difficult working the other author's characters into your novel? I think you said it was pretty seamless, but
Oh.
did you have any?
Well, no, it wasn't. Like I liked doing it, and it's a cool concept, but it was so hard. Like it was really, really, really hard actually, and that actually held me up quite a bit trying to figure out how I was going to take these characters and just make them appear. And what I ended up having to do was write my story and then go back
Hmm.
and and figure out places for them to be. Um,
Wow.
because yeah, I mean it was driving me crazy. I was like, I have no clue where this person is going to pop up, and it's always hard introducing characters because I don't know those characters as well as they do, and
Right.
you don't want to get so specific that maybe you are wrong, or would do something outside the character.
Hmm.
So it's got to be just enough to make people go, oh, hey, I remember this person from this book,
Right.
but not so specific to where you kind of put your foot in your mouth.
Hmm.
Yeah, it
So
was hard.
you literally kind of worked backwards then, and you just like placed them back in. Is that what you're saying?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I kind of tend to have a tendency to do that anyway when I write. Like I'm a linear writer for three-fourths of the book.
Yeah.
And then
Hmm.
when I get to usually that spot, about 75%, I'll start at the last page, and I'll write backwards until I
Mhm.
meet up. Um,
Yeah.
but so I mean, it wasn't too hard to once I had all of them and their I just kind of made like my own little Bible for them and character
Yeah.
descriptions and what they did
Mhm.
and everything. And then I went back and was able to add in where they needed to be, add in dialogue, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, but it would
Yeah,
definitely made
dialogue
it
must
easier
have
to
been
do it
really
after the story was finished. Yeah, yeah,
right. Right.
for
Now,
sure.
do you ever listen to music? Do you have a playlist when you're writing the MacKenzie Family stuff? Do you like the
Mm-mm.
quiet?
No, because I can't listen to anything that has words in it.
Oh,
Um,
okay, gotcha.
so I've got to be really careful about that. I get distracted. Um, I actually write best with just complete quiet. Like I'll
Yeah.
just put the Bose headphones on and
Mhm.
you know, um, you know, just quiet room, no interruptions, no talking, no TV, no nothing. And then
Right.
every once in a while, though, certain books I will listen to music on, but I listen to movie scores. Um,
Oh, cool. Yeah.
so I'll just turn on like Pandora and
Mhm.
pick different movie scores to listen to. Especially like in my suspense books that are fast paced and moving. I'll do that a lot.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and mostly I have to be a quiet writer. I have super ADD. Like just the shiniest thing will distract me from whatever I'm doing. Or if like somebody comes to talk to me, or if the doorbell rings, or if UPS man stops outside. I mean, that
Gone.
takes me out for a good hour. So,
Yeah. So
um,
I could see how words in a song you could just slowly start inserting lyrics into your.
mhm.
I think it would
Well, yeah,
influence
I
you
mean,
too
I get
much.
involved in that, and I tell you,
Yeah.
like the best place I write is an airplane because you're
Yeah.
forced to not have internet, and you're forced to sit in that chair and be still for however long.
True.
So
So true.
I don't know. At some point when I'm on deadline, I'm just gonna fly just around the world and just nonstop flight, um, and just force myself to finish. I don't know, but
Yeah, it's perfect.
that's the best place that I can
Yes.
write. Mm.
Yeah. Planes and trains, absolutely. Now,
Uh,
speaking of traveling and being on planes, I know you like to travel. So, are you going anywhere this year?
oh
Any
yeah, we
fun
travel.
stuff planned?
Oh my gosh, we're going everywhere. I just got back from Hawaii today, like an hour and a half ago.
Really? Oh,
um,
wow.
yeah,
It's a good
right.
time.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, when I say I just got off the plane and got home, I really just got off the plane and got home. So, yeah, I was there for a writers conference,
Oh, fabulous.
the Hawaii Romance Conference, and I gave the
Hmm.
keynote there. And yeah, it was a really great conference. But let's see, this year I'll be keynoting at the Authors Combat Academy in April,
Hmm.
and that's in Nashville. And I actually won't be at RT or RWA this year. I'm taking it. I actually have 6 books to write this year, so this is a lean year for
Okay.
travel or for business
You're just a
travel.
little busy.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, six books is a lot, so I need to focus if I'm gonna
Yeah.
actually make that goal. But the and I'll be in Scotland actually in July for a book signing there. That's actually my first book signing in the UK. Did I? Yeah, ever. Actually, I've never done one there. I was trying to think if I did one in London Book Fair a few years ago, but I didn't. Um, but so that's the first signing I'll have there. So I'll be there July. I think it's July the 9th. But and then we've got SWAT Academy coming up. We've got
Mhm.
um, I guess that's about it for this year. Next year is a good travel year. I'm going to Berlin and Australia, so you know.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, Hawaii
That's
and London
amazing.
were this year's trips. So no, it's gonna be. We're
That's
always going
amazing.
somewhere. We don't like to stay in one
Yeah.
one spot very long.
I hear you. I hear you. Now, you
These
mentioned that you're the keynote speaker a lot of. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say I didn't know if I was supposed to be answering these questions that are pop like down here.
Oh, I can put it up. Yeah, you
Or you
can.
answering them?
Usually I call attention to them, but I just saw
Oh, okay, I
Jillian's.
see.
But we should do this question, Jillian.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you.
I didn't.
I was gonna. No worries. So Evil Eye, I was gonna mention actually. So she says, "How is it working with A
Yeah.
Thousand One Dark Nights, Evil Eye to publish rather than pubbing yourself?" Totally different
Oh no, it's
process.
amazing. Like, yes, yes and no. Not really. I mean, writing's writing, and they do an amazing job always. They've done my 1001 Dark Nights novellas
Yeah.
for a couple years now, but
Mhm.
it was like when I had that, I knew I wanted to do something with the MacKenzie world, and I knew
Right.
I wanted to do it different, and then I wanted it to be bigger. And then, I sat down with we started talking through the logistics of things because with any, just like we do with any publishing, anything. And I knew that with my schedule, there was no way I could orchestrate, organize, coordinate, and get it all done. I just knew there was no
Mhm.
way. And they were my first thought doing it
Mhm.
with Liz and MJ because they do such a great job with 1001 Dark Nights, and I figured if anybody could do it, that they could do it. And
Yeah.
obviously they do. They did it, have done an amazing job, and still do an amazing job. So um, they're really the only people I would have trusted to do it right. And you can tell from top to bottom, like the branding and the covers and everything, that it's just
Mhm.
they do a
Yeah.
top notch job.
Fantastic.
So
Absolutely. Now I
and I
wanted
mean,
to
they're always
ask.
easy to work with. I mean.
Yes. Ah, Liz said we were so honored that you asked. Thank you. I love those conversations on the side. I wanted
Uh-huh.
to ask you because you're a keynote speaker at a lot of conferences and different events. But did you have a past with public speaking, or does it just come naturally to you? Like, how did you kind of get into doing this?
Well, I was a teacher for 10 years, and
That helps.
so that helps. Because really, like, I'm
Yeah.
not an extrovert, I'm an introvert big time. And so when I do these
Hmm.
things, it's almost like you got to put your teacher mode on. And so I really like to teach, and
Yeah.
I do workshops all over the country, like self-publishing workshops, and I
Hmm.
do a lot of keynote speeches. But yeah, no, I mean, I just kind of put that teacher mode on, and I don't think about it. Um, and then as soon as it's over, I crash and and have to be alone for a little while, get to kind of disappear and nap it off. Because I mean,
Hmm.
it's almost like a performance. Like you have to gear yourself up for it. You go do it, and then you um, you
Oh,
know
absolutely.
disappear and take a nap and eat a
Yeah.
lot of chocolate.
Yeah. Um, we have a couple questions from some new people. Jocelyn wants to know what's the craziest thing that one of your characters has done in your books?
Oh my gosh. Oh, see, I have
So there's
43
lots to
books. Now
choose
I'm gonna like think. That's a lot to choose from.
from.
Okay, well, I've got to say, like, so I have this book called Breath of Fire, and
Hmm.
um, it's actually a suspense, but it actually, I saw somebody had posted earlier on my page that this was the first book that they, because Marnie's got like outside talents, she's psychic, and but this was the first
Hmm.
book that they'd seen where I'd written like other kind of abilities. And so I have this book, Breath of Fire, and like they have all kinds of powers and stuff too. Um, but
Right.
it's a suspense, and it's I guess technically it's an urban fantasy. But so I've got this book, but they have really great like text on the ceiling. I would say that might be one of my favorite. Oh, you know what? One of my other favorites is in Kill Shot. I love those guys, those characters, Grace and Gabe. And they have like this really
Hmm.
great, they're husband and wife, but they're estranged, like they are separated, and they have this great like fight, like not a verbal fight, but they like fight like on the
Knockdown,
mats.
drag out.
And yeah, well, like they're both trained, so it's not just like she's an assassin and he's he's special ops. And so I mean, so they've got a
Yeah.
great fight scene, and that leads to really good sex. So um I like that one too.
Awesome.
That might be my favorite.
Sweet. It's like Mr. and Mrs. Smith style, sort of.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
um,
it is a lot like that,
so,
actually. Uh,
yeah, I always think of that scene. Um, what are some
uh,
books that you have in your possession that you've reread that you just like, you can't live without them? Is there anything in your bookshelf that you can think of?
yeah, Outlander would be one of those. I'm
Mm-hmm.
obsessed with Outlander.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's like I'm super excited to go to Scotland for that signing this summer because
Cool,
my
yeah.
husband doesn't know it yet, but I'm just going to drag him on the Outlander tour, and we're going to go find Jamie Fraser. So
Yes.
there's that
Those
coming
are my
up,
goals.
and
Mm-hmm.
let's see. Oh my gosh, books that I can't do without. So that's definitely
Your top.
my number one choice.
Mm-hmm.
I love um, I love anything that Julie Garwood does, um, especially her historicals. Actually, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
huge historical reader, and I think a lot of that has to do with
Yeah.
that I don't like to read. Well, I don't read contemporary often because I don't like to, uh, cross contaminate or anything. So I read a ton of historicals. I love Julia Quinn. I love Eloise James. Um, I've probably
Mm-hmm.
read like the Bridgertons like 10 times each. Um,
That's awesome.
so I mean, I love stuff like that. Yeah. Um, but I read a lot of historicals. But Julie Garwood's definitely a keeper. I love the J.D. Robb series. Actually, I'm in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of that newest book right now. So those are
Yes.
always auto buys. I think what
Mm-hmm.
else is an auto buy. Um, I don't
I
know, I've
should
got a
phrase it.
bunch.
What's in your auto buy list? What is on your auto buy?
Yeah. Um, Yeah, definitely the J.D. Robbs, definitely Outlander, or Diana Gabaldon. Julie Garwood
Yeah.
is Catherine Coulter. Like I love her FBI series. Lee Child.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, those are
Classic
those are
list.
definite auto buys for me. Hmm. Yep.
Awesome. Now, we have a
Um,
couple more questions
Laurel
before
K.
we
Hamilton.
leave.
I like hers. Yeah.
She's like,
Okay.
I love it.
No, I'm sorry. Like
Um,
I will go on forever.
I know. I'm like, okay, you can list them all. I have time. I would love to hear. Um,
Uh,
so Callie wants to know what are some things you're passionate about other than writing? So you love to write, you speak, you travel. What are some other things that we might not know?
hmm. Well, right now we're
Moving.
in the moving process, so like nothing is. Let's see. That pretty much sums up my life. We have 6 kids. We've got. Um,
Yeah.
we're actually in the process of building a house that is never going to be finished. Um, so you know those kind of sagas are happening.
Yeah.
Um, no, I
Mhm.
mean that's pretty much our life. Work, travel, kids,
Yeah.
more travel.
Yeah.
We're taking a
Totally.
4,000-mile RV trip in like 2 weeks. Um,
Yeah.
that should be very interesting. No, we're not taking
Mhm.
kids on that. It's just gonna be us. But
That's
it
nice.
should be, and we're gonna live broadcast it, so it should be
Cool.
terrifying and fun at the
It's
same time.
gonna be great.
So,
And for anyone who just tuned in, can you tell us what you're working on next, so we know what's coming down the pipeline for you? Things to get excited about.
ooh, so many things down the pipeline for me. Let's see. So this month is Big MacKenzie month. Next month, I actually have not had an Addison Holmes release since August of 2014, and yeah, Addison Holmes is my mystery series, and it's a New York Times bestselling series. But I've got a novella in a Red Soul Clues anthology coming out March 22nd, and then
Wow.
Whiskey Tango
Mhm.
Foxtrot, which is book 5 in my Addison Holmes
Yes.
series, comes out April 26th. So we'll get a back-to-back dose of Addison Holmes. And
Love that title.
see, July 26th is Shane.
Hmm.
That's happening. And then actually, I can talk about it because I just signed off there. But I actually just signed a 3-book deal with Pocket Books,
Wow.
and um, those it's for
Um,
a brand new romantic suspense series, and it's called the Gravediggers series. So that's super fun. And so I will be writing 3 of those this year, and they are slated for a June, July, August release of next year.
wow.
So that's new happening this year. And
Hmm.
then, of course, they've got another 1001 Dark Nights novella in December coming out. And then I'll have another J.J.
Hmm.
Graves coming out in April of 2017. So I got a lot of books coming out this year and next year, both. So
Yeah, there's
it's
no shortage.
fun times ahead.
Well, your fans are
Thus the
probably like giddy with excitement right now, you guys. That's crazy.
oh, I hope so. Yeah, I took kind of a light year last year, so like actually this Troublemaker is the first full length book I've had out in a year.
Yeah.
So this is kind of launching 2016, so because I took a lot of time off last year with house building, we got married, things like that.
Oh, that's
So
so
it was a busy
nice.
year.
Yeah.
So
Gotta balance it
but we're
out
ready to
somehow.
roll
That's
now.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somehow you got
Well,
to
best
figure it
of
out.
luck to you with all the
Thank you.
writing and the traveling and the house building. It sounds like a great adventure. And happy Pub
Thank
Day
you.
again for Troublemaker. And I just wanted to thank you again for joining us, and everyone asked great questions. Thank you guys as always. Take care, guys.